What's up? What's up? It's your boy Daydrian. I'm solo dolo as usual. It's a new episode. It's a new day. It's a new Tuesday. So much to talk about today on this episode of A Different Perspective podcast. Listen, so much to talk about. I might be a little long today. Might be a little winded, as what the church folks say when the preacher's up there preaching. He might be a little long-winded, and what he's saying or in his prayer time. But listen, it's April. We're 9 days into it, and a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. So last week I didn't come on. Just a lot of moving parts with getting ready for resurrection service. No, I take that back. Really just trying to figure things out on my end. Having conversations with my wife about, I guess, moving forward. So, just trying to figure some things out. But you know what? God is able. God is able. So, again, it's April. I'm going to go back a week. March 31st, Resurrection Sunday. Man, when I tell you, it was so phenomenal. So we were at the Sci-Fair Visual Performing Arts Center. And because we wouldn't be able to get all the people into our church building. So, but we're praying, we're constantly praying that God is going to move on his time, not on our time. So we were at the VPAC is what it's called. And we had over 2,500 people show up. Now, mind you, the VPAC in the auditorium only seats 1,500. And 2,500 people showed up. If that ain't a move of God, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. It was mind-blowing, to say the least. We had so many people show up. And for me, I'm a person when I'm in church or if I'm serving, I don't mind giving up my seat for someone else. Because, not that I'm not being fed, but I know that this may be this person's first time coming. They may be a visitor. And it doesn't matter if it's in our church building or anywhere. I have a heart of a servant. That's one of my spiritual gifts. So I don't mind giving up my seat. We actually had a section slated for the children there that we just took the children back in the back and we were good to go. So yeah, that's, kind of how it went. But man, it was so phenomenal. My brother Jerry brought the word. And I mean, I tell people, you had to be there. If you wasn't there, you missed a treat. I forgot the lady name that played the saxophone, but she cut up on that saxophone. And she did it for the glory of God. Our choir sung Total Praise. That's one of my favorite, songs that involves a choir, not just like a solo artist like that. I mean, I was just so mind blown by what God is about to do, because I've seen what he can do. It's about what he's about to do that's just blew me away. It literally blew me away. But shout out to the South Carolina Gamecock women's basketball team for winning it all. They completed the revenge tour, is what they called it. I didn't even know it was called a revenge tour. I just thought they were going to go undefeated and win it all. Shout out to Dawn Staley. I've been a huge fan of hers since she, played in the WNBA. Did an episode of Martin. Like, she did plenty of. Like, I was a fan of hers back then, so it's nothing new to me that she's succeeding in what she's doing now as a coach. Let's see. Shout out to the UConn Huskies, the men's, for winning it all as well. Not much I can say other than before the tournament started, I watched like one half or maybe like a half of a first half or second half of one of their games, and the way they executed on offense, the way they played, I was like, nobody's beating them. They're gonna win it all again. Like, it was, and it's me having the basketball knowledge that I have that made me believe that like, okay, yeah, they're gonna win it all. Like, no one's gonna beat them, and they beat every team by at least 10 points or more. It is what it is. So shout out to them. I'm happy for them. But yeah, let's get into it. So after Resurrection Sunday, like, I don't even know what time we got home, but we needed like a day, like we needed Monday to really just regroup. And come to find out that all the other school districts except Cy-Fair was closed, and we just like, because when I went to the gym that Monday, I was like, why there's so many people in the gym? And that was like, oh, school is out. I'm like, for who? Because I'm like, my wife is at work. So, yeah, Resurrection Sunday was phenomenal. Like, Mother's Day may or may not get the same crowd, because you're gonna have some people from our church who probably gonna go visit where their mother goes to church at, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. We just gotta wait and see. So I listen to the radio a lot. Well, when I'm in my car, not that I listen to it a lot, but when I'm in the car and I don't want to listen to my music that I listen to, I was listening to Darlene McCoy, and she asked a question about what is the church, or is the church doing what they're supposed to do, and is the church, giving people, is the church a hospital? Like, she went into asking a number of questions, and she talked about it all last week, about the church. So here's my perspective. The church is us as people, not a building, right? So we go to fellowship in a building. Just like when you have parties, or even when you go to sporting events or concerts, you go on fellowship with other people who like the same music or like the same team, or whatever the case may be. It's the same thing for the church. It's a building. We are the church because when they turn the lights off and lock the gates, set the alarms on the building, we have to walk out what we've been taught. And some people are being misinformed when it comes to the church. And so it is not only just my job, but the community of believers to teach people about the church. Because, when we walk around, we may be the only Bible people may read. We may be the only testimony people may see. So when we are living our lives according to God's will and His way, and through His thought patterns, although His ways and thoughts are higher than ours, we have to imitate who Christ is in us. If we say we're followers of Christ, there's just some things that we shouldn't be doing. I will be honest, I am guilty of honking my horn and yelling at the person in the car. That is me not representing Christ. Not only for God, but not in front of my wife and children. Because I'm supposed to be the first representation of God that they see every day. And I struggle in that. And I'll say this too. It's something that I have to get over, or I have to pray that spirit out of me. Just call it what it is. That spirit of wanting to say something every time. But I mean, it's I'm not making an excuse that it's the human nature in me that says something or anything like that, but it is what it is. I have to be better in that area because I got a wife, I got children, I got people who are older than me, younger than me, who are looking up to me, and if I'm not representing Christ, I'm letting them down. That's how it comes out to. So as the church, we must be loving, caring, have joy, have peace in our hearts, not operating in chaos. That's not good. Let's see, what else? Gentleness, be patient. That's a tough one. That's the one that I would say 99% of the people in the world deal with is patience. They can say they have patience. It takes the right situation for that patience. If you got kids, you got to have patience. It's a struggle. Oh, it's a struggle. But let me tell you something. These kids, they are different. They are different. So when it comes to the church, again, like I said, we just have to be the example out in the world. Now, let's not neglect fellowshipping with one another in a assembly, whether it's your mosque, mass, whatever religion you profess to be about. So when we're the church, we have to embody who Christ is in us and display it to the world, regardless of people disagree with it. Because people have this mindset that, their religion makes them superior than other religions or lifestyles. It's not true. Because religion, to me, is always a division. It's always been that for me, even as I'm learning. Because when you create a religion, you're saying, "Oh, I want a piece of God," and I've shared this before, but you don't want the totality of God. And so that's why certain rules are okay, or certain laws, so to speak, are okay, and some aren't. So I tell people, man, make it make sense. So let me move on from that because I could spend a lot of time touching on that. Russia officially adds the Alphabet community to its list of terrorists and extremist group. Arrests could be made and frozen accounts could happen. That's a little extreme. They're not terrorists. They're not an extremist group. They are people who choose a lifestyle that they want to live, and for me, it's let them live it. My job is to tell you about who God is and who Christ is in my life, and display that at all times. But if you choose to be a part of that Alphabet community, cool. But if you come to me and you ask me why I believe in who God is to me, because I've had an encounter. But freezing their assets because that's what they want to do, hey, even in America, we have our problems. But to freeze someone's account or to arrest them because they don't, I'm not gonna say they don't agree, but because they want to live the life they want to live it, and they're not breaking any laws, let them be. And just to go a step further, when people, talk about sin, talk about this sin and that sin, always remember this, and I'm having to remind myself every day. Jesus never rebuked the person. He always rebuked the spirit in the person. So if you have a spirit of lesbianism or homosexuality or anger or the spirit of masturbation, the spirit of pornography, if you have that spirit in you, Jesus is going to rebuke the spirit, not the person. And we have to be that same way. So when someone asks, "Oh, can you pray for me?" Sure, no problem. I got you. And then not to go into detail of what are you praying for. Just whatever their spirit is, it needs to be removed. That's it. So, excuse me. So for them to do that, hey, it is what it is. The Missouri House has passed a bill that will eliminate income taxes for corporations. 1 in 7 Missouri residents live in poverty. So you want to have these major corporations, companies, or whatever, not pay any taxes, and the rich get richer and the poor stay poor? My question is always, are these believers of God? of these believers of Christ, because you have it to give or to help end something. Like, honestly, with all these billionaires, we can end world hunger. They just want us to, or like when these celebrities come on talking about, if you donate this much money, why you can't do it? Or why we donate money to another country and our country is struggling right now? That's always my thought. And when people use the old Jesus, loves a cheerful giver, or Jesus, when they use Jesus or God in the scenario, I was like, God took care of Jerusalem first. The Jews, he spent time with the Jews or taught them everything first before he went to the Gentiles. So why we can't take care of our home first? Like our home, America, whatever you want to call it. And, go help out. I mean, take care of these impoverished communities. They don't want to do that because most of them look like me. Hate to say it, but that's what it is. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And so I want to add this too. I know that everybody's not the same. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody's created differently. That's fine. So if I mention a certain race of people, I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about the certain ones who think, live, and act this way. So I want to clarify that before somebody come for me talking about what I'm saying is wrong and everybody's not like that. Like, no, I understand everybody's not like that. But if you act, talk, think that way, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it ain't a mongoose. Ooh, what are you attracting? So last week I was walking with one of my brothers, just having a conversation. He has a teenage daughter, as well. I think she's a year or two younger than Julina. And we were talking about, teaching our girls how to dress and not trying to show skin to these little boys or whatever. Because they're going to look, because as men, we're visual creatures. We see. And we got to talking about, when you go fishing, when you go fishing, you get bait. You're not hoping that you catch a catfish when you're in the water full of red snapper. It's you're attracting something. So back when my daughter Julina was it was a few weeks ago, she was getting a dress for her birthday, and she got a dress. I believed that it was too short. She got upset, but it's upper thigh. I said, I don't care. It's too short. Get another dress. Period. It was not up for discussion. Because I had to, for me, it wasn't about me being mad or upset. That's not the case, because I wasn't. But it's hey, can't wear that. Get another dress. Find another dress. But I said, no, you need to come to your knees. And I proceed to quote scripture behind it. I said, you will need to be modest in your appearance. That is not modest. And I'm like, no daughter of mine is going to wear anything like that. At least nothing that I'm going to pay for. So she texted my wife and told her that they thought this dress was too short. And so, he was talking about how his daughter is, she's blessed in areas or whatever. And he was like, she shouldn't be wearing anything that's too tight. Like, you don't want to attract the wrong guy, because the wrong guy, I think one day you want to attract the right guy. And so we got into that conversation. I was just like, ooh, that's a podcast topic right there. What are you attracting? So I would say to any young lady or any brother who are flaunting something that you should or shouldn't be attracting, that you should or shouldn't be doing, you're attracting something. if you're running around on social media flashing money or whatever, doing X, Y, and Z, and this is saying for the guys, like you're attracting the wrong person. If you're a woman who's dressing scantily clad, you're attracting the wrong person. But you can't say you want a man to respect you if you're not respecting yourself. And I understand women work at strip clubs, guys work at strip clubs to get an income or whatever, but you don't have to do that. That's a choice you're making because it's fast money, and that leads to other things. Like if she's dancing for me, what else is she willing to pay for? Or if he's dancing with me, what else is he willing to do? All of that goes into place of what you're attracting. Be modest in your appearance. Make men wonder if a man really wants to be with that woman or vice versa. Make them wonder what you have to offer. In the sense of like, let's say for instance, I've never been a flashy person. You know, like I like to have nice things, yes, but I'm not out there flaunting it like, oh yeah, I got the latest this and that. Like, no, that's never been my mindset. When I buy suits, I may buy like one suit that's for special occasions, but I like wearing black suits, gray suits, brown suits, and navy blue suits. Those are the kind of business like that you could wear, not only for business, but you can also wear to church type of thing. Like it's not like no. So I've never been a flashy type, and even my wife, she's not the flashy type. She likes nice things just like anybody else does, but she's not the flashy type. So when people flashing all of this other stuff and like you got 10 chains on for what? Why you need 10 chains on around your neck? For somebody to snatch? Make it make sense. Or young ladies, why are you wearing dresses and skirts or shirts where we can see down, whereas men, we can see down your shirt? Like, and not that we're like, ooh, we got to look and see, but like, why put yourself out there to attract something that you in your mind you're not intending to attract, but it happens. So it's unfortunate, obviously, that we have men who are not being men, who are not teaching their daughters, teaching their sons how to respect the person and not get to this, oh, well, she dressed like this or he dressed like that, so they must got something type of thing. Like, no, everybody's not the same. I told Julina a while ago, like, don't you bring no boy here to my house sagging in his pants. I'm gonna turn him away. And I've also instructed her, like, any boy, and I'm saying boy now, any boy who say that they don't want to meet your dad, then he's clearly not the one. He's showing you that he don't want to meet me because he has some ulterior motive. Period. There's no getting around that. And so, and it'll be the same for Junior as well when he gets old enough to date. If there's some girl who says she don't want to meet your parents, cut off. She's not the one because she has an ulterior motive. He's going to be a tall, handsome boy who's going to be playing some sport. And so, yeah, that's that. What are you attracting? Are you attracting a God sent or are you attracting a counterfeit? Ooh, boom. Duke guard Jared McCain signs an NIL deal with Sally Hansen, a nail polish company. That's, and I'm a Duke fan, so, but no boy or male for that nature, unless you're part of the alphabet community, should be painting their nails. Don't try to give me this, oh, I'm doing it for this, I'm doing it for that. There are other ways you can promote, whether it's autism, whether it's breast cancer, and I'm just naming things, whether it's what else is out there? Hodgkin's lymphoma, like all of these other things. There's other ways you can do it other than painting your nails. So don't tell me that that it's okay to paint your nails. No, it's not. Now, if you have a daughter who is Robin's age or whatever, and she want to paint your toenails, well, probably not gonna paint my toenails. That's fine, but I'm not gonna wear it all day like, hey, look at me. No, I'm not doing that. It's foolish. That is foolish. And he gonna get to the league and do that. 45 posts his $175 million bond in New York civil fraud case to keep authorities from seizing property. Man, must be nice to have 175 million just sitting there. So your property don't get froze, you don't get seized. It's crazy. That's crazy. Joe Biden cancels Easter with transgender day of visibility. Stuff like this will be the reason why 45 will get back in office. And by 45, I mean Trump. Stuff like this will be the reason why a lot of things are getting canceled. Like, first of all, you can cancel Easter. I don't care about that because I don't care about Easter. I care about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, no matter what day it's on. Actually, it don't even matter what day. I'm just happy he got up for me. He got up. That's all you need to know. Stupid. Stupid, and it's foolish. Like, why would you even do something like that? Yesterday, we had a solar eclipse. And just about as fast as I'm going to talk about it, I'm moving on to the next topic. CNN promoting Caitlin Clark instead of the team that won the national championship. I'm gonna go in on this, right? And I'm gonna be very blunt, very transparent, very frank about what I'm about to say. Caitlin Clark is a great player. She was a great player in college. But guess what? She didn't win anything. So why is the media? Because it's the media. That's what they do. That's why they have podcasts now, so they don't have to do what the media is doing. But why we promote Caitlin Clark as if she won it all, and she didn't? Last year she lost to LSU. Then we got Emmanuel Acho. I don't have it on here. But we got Emmanuel Acho criticizing Angel Reese because she was very emotional in her post-game interview when they lost to Iowa, and how she received death threats and all this other stuff. And then you saying to her that if she's gonna gloat about her win, she need to be ready for the smoke. I said, and a lot of people have also said that he apologized, but I'm like, his apology need to be loud as his disrespect was, but he didn't do that. That's what most people do anyway. Their apology is not gonna be loud as they disrespect. Like I said, Caitlin Clark had a good career in college. That's it. But for people to promote her to the greatest of all time in college basketball, not even close. Whether it's the men's or the women. I can name some women who are better than her, who played better than her. Cheryl Swoops went to Texas Tech and won a national championship with her team. Dropped 47. Caitlin Clark can do that. She had an opportunity to, but she didn't. Oh, that's right, she got locked up. She had 18 points in the first quarter, and then was shut down after that. Then here's what's crazy. So last year when Iowa played South Carolina in the semifinal of the Final Four, Raven Johnson didn't have confidence in her jump shot, of shooting a three. So Caitlin Clark is just waving her hands. Oh, she can't shoot. I'm not gonna worry about guarding her. And it did some to her. Let's circle back a year later. Raven Johnson was put on to lock up Caitlin Clark and was getting buckets too. Now, Caitlin Clark had a good career. That's it. And here's what makes me mad, right? This is the part that makes me mad. And I know this is not all people. I've been watching, playing, observing basketball since I was 4 years old. I've seen players come, players go. Caitlin Clark is not even, to me, she's not even on the Mount Rushmore of college women, let alone college basketball in general. Like, she's not college women. Like, I could name 4 players from UConn alone that I will put over her. I can name 2 players from Tennessee I will put over her. Put Cheryl Swoops. Matter of fact, I could put 3 or 4 players from USC over Caitlin Clark. She didn't even make the top 10 for me. Now, I will say this though. She has promoted people watching women's college basketball. I will say that. I'm not going to take that away from her, that part. But to say that she is as good as Shamika Holtzclaw, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, Sue Bird, Deanna Taurasi, Rebecca Lobo, let's see, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Miller, the McGee sisters, come on. Asia Wilson, come on. Let's not do that. Kelsey Plum, come on. Skylar Diggins, I can keep naming and keep going, and I still don't have a place for Caitlin Clark. Shoot, USC Juju Watkins is about to come up. She already set the freshman record. Come on now. So CNN and other these media sources are promoting Caitlin Clark, but we're not talking about South Carolina going undefeated. That's a problem. But hey, we live in white America, so what you expect? You got Cameron Brink who can cuss out a referee and no penalty. Nothing's done to her. And, like, it's crazy. I know she's no fine for Stanford. None of that. Because she's representing Stanford. Right? So what's the difference? You got Richard Sherman graduated from Stanford. And he got talked bad about when he got in the league because he spoke his mind, but he's very intelligent. So what's the difference? So this next topic is a little interesting, and not in a good way. It's a little tearjerkery. Just made a word up. Tearjerkery. Daughter was sexually assaulted and went to her mother for help. But her mother could not help her because she has not healed from when she was sexually assaulted. Ooh, that is a lot to unpack. So what happened was the daughter that's mentioned, she was molested as a young girl. And she finally came and told her mother about it. But her mother kind of brushed her off as, you got to pick up the pieces and move on in life. And so listening to it and watching it, like, your heart goes out to both of these women. Because the mother, when she told her that I can't help you heal from whatever it is you're going through because I haven't healed myself. But again, this goes back to, and my heart goes out to these women. Like, no one deserves to be sexually assaulted. No one deserves to be, especially as children, should be robbed of their purity. Period. Like, no child, and I'm saying child because boys get molested too. And I know for a fact that between me and my wife, We'll go to the ends of the earth to take out someone if they mess with our children. And for me, it's not just about the three that live in my house. It's children in general. If I see a child being taken unfair advantage of, or let's say we're at church and one of the children say that they were inappropriately touched, listen, it's going to be a problem. Because that's something I don't take lightly. Like, I love children. I love when I teach in children's church. I love, doing, being around children or whatever, and I'm never going to take the unfair advantage of them. But when I see other people doing it or touching them inappropriately, like, no, stop it. Nah, like you need to go just walk away. Because if I get to you, or especially if my wife gets to you, y'all think I'm gangster or whatever you want to call it. My wife is on a whole nother level. But to this situation, gosh, I hope her mother gets help, number one. I hope she seeks help because she needs it. She needs to heal from what hurt her, and she needs to. I'm never going to say you have to get over it, but there has to be a place where you're not hurt or you're not allowing a domino effect of your past hurt to not let you get close to someone else, or allow you to live a lifestyle that wasn't that you didn't even intend to or intend for, or even have to deal with. Listen, you shouldn't have to deal with that. From what I've seen, her mother grew up in that generation of what happens in this house stays in this house, and that's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I can't even, I don't know where to go from here with that. My prayer is that these women do get help, that they seek the guidance, the whoever the therapist is. I hope they don't take the unfair advantage of them. That's my prayer. Because it's unfortunate. Yeah, let me move on from that. Arkansas and Florida are banning African history tests and are implementing European tests. 25 states are firing the academics who are working in that space. So, you mean to tell me that we can't learn about African history, but you want to imploring us European history? Yeah, let's talk about how y'all came over to America and gave the Indians blankets with diseases on them. Let's talk about that. Or let's talk about how you didn't want to build it, but you wanted blacks and the Indians and the Mexicans to build it and say you did it. Yeah, let's talk about that. Please, let's talk about it. We can definitely talk about it. Or, well, I'm not going to go any further than that, but I think it's very unfortunate that that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. We want to not talk about certain things, but then talk about others. So if that's the case, let's not talk about the Holocaust in schools. It didn't happen here. So, moving on. 4 black women were relieved of their duties after working in the diversity department of their respective companies. Disney's, I got to give the name, Disney's Chief Diversity Officer, LaTondra Newton, gone. Warner Brothers lays off diversity exec Karen Horn, gone. Netflix first head of inclusion, Verna Myers, is stepping down after 5 years. And Wade Davis, I'm assuming is a white guy, is being promoted to her role. And Film Academy Executive VP of Impact and Inclusion, Janelle English, gone. All these black women. Because they're doing away with the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, it's the, I want to say, affirmative action, where like now instead of giving us an opportunity, we are being robbed of that opportunity now, and we're supposed to be okay with it. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. And I'm thinking about like how they want to raise the retirement age and take away Social Security. Why are you raising the retirement age? Because you have, and I'm going to say this, because you have blacks who are retiring early, who are not giving their life to some job, and you know, you want to do anything to try to, as I say, try to keep us down, but we won't. We can't stop. Won't stop. Sorry, I had to quote Diddy. But I don't want to be in Diddy's shoes either. I want none of that diddly. The diddler. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Cheesecake Factory girl strikes again. So, a couple of months ago, young lady was going on a date to Cheesecake Factory with this guy, and he had reservations for another place, but she agreed to a time that she would meet him, and then she got upset, recorded him and everything about Cheesecake Factory, so he took her home. Well, she strikes again. This time, guy opens the door for her. Now, I will say this, in her defense, I agree he should have opened the door for her. He should have walked around, opened the door for her. But for her, two things, like one is why you're recording. Number two is if you don't touch doors, how do you get in your house or apartment? That part. Like, for me, it's the, you don't touch doors. Like, she I don't touch doors. I said, my mind was like, how you get in your house? How do you walk out the door? Matter of fact, how do you use the bathroom? You have to leave the door open? What if you have company at your house? You leave the door wide open? Like, come on. Like, make it make sense. Like I said, the only thing I do understand is, and this, I understand her part as far as him coming around opening the door for her. You know, like, he should have did that. However, to say you don't touch doors, what if you're by yourself walking in the store and there's no guy around? You gonna wait till some guy show up to open the door for you? For me, if I see you waiting for somebody to open the door, I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna walk in myself and leave you hanging. That's the petty me. But if I'm like, my thing is this, like, if I'm usually good at this, when, you know, I walk to a door, I open the door automatically. It's the gentleman in me, X, Y, and Z, whatever you want to call it. But for her to say she don't touch doors, I'm like, matter of fact, am I also thinking is like, where's her car? Like, if it's a date, so many things that I think about when it comes to this young lady. She ain't gonna never find love. Matter of fact, she ain't gonna ever find what she's looking for, because, and I'll say this too, I'm not saying she can't have standards, right? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, are the standards you have, do you have them for yourself? That is the question. And if you don't, then hey. That's crazy. Jonathan Majors sentenced to 1 year of counseling for his domestic violence situation. I don't know much of the details. I've seen videos leaked or coming out about what happened and things like that. But I sincerely hope he gets the help he needs. That's all I can say. But a lot of domestic violence goes on a lot. And everything is on impulse and not trying to find the root cause as to why. Like, I'm thinking, and like, I'm looking at it from both sides. So what's to say that the next person who gets domestically assaulted, are they going to get a 1 year of counseling, or are they going to go to jail? And I'm looking at it from both sides. What if a woman assaults a man and he defends himself? Does he have that right to defend himself? Like, so many variables that go into that. I don't, that's something I have to look into. I probably won't, because it's not my business. But 1 year counseling, like I said, I hope he gets the help he needs. We're almost to the end of this portion. Dating and paying bills. This is some relationship advice. Let me just say this. If y'all are dating, he or she is not obligated to pay bills for you. And I'm saying he or she. That's not his position, because my thing is this, and I've learned this too. Don't give husband and wife privileges to boyfriend girlfriends. Period. You dating this guy and you short on the bill. Well, what were you doing to be short? Now, I understand life happens. There are some situations where life happens. Let's say you have a flat tire and you just paid all your bills or whatever, and you ask for help. That's one thing, right? I'm not mad at that. But to pay bills to a house that he don't live in, or to pay bills at a house that she don't live in? No. Nah. Nope. No. Because then it's going to lead to, well, you paid it last time. Can you pay it this time too? No, I can't. That's why I can't. That's why I'm glad I'm married. Like, I ain't got to deal with none of that. Dating scene. Then I'm happy that one of my brothers from the church just recently got married. Like, I'm happy for him, because we've had a couple of conversations about dating women, and I'm just like, bruh, when you get married, bruh, enjoy it, embrace it, love it, cherish it, all of that. Yeah. Spiritual advice. Uncommon favor. Listen, Dawn Staley blew my mind. Like, well, in the sense of when she used the uncommon favor. If you don't know what uncommon favor is, it's going to give you an example. It's when you apply for a job, and although everyone else is qualified or more qualified than you, and you still get the job. That's uncommon favor. Uncommon favor is when you were running late somewhere, and you had to be there for, and there's an accident that happens, or traffic is slowing down so you can get there on time somewhere else. Like, it's crazy. Or how, because you left a minute late and there was an accident on the highway, that you was able to avoid it by going a different route. But had you been on time, that would have been you in that accident. That's uncommon favor. With everything that Dawn Staley experienced within the last 3 years alone, there are 109 in 3 years. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Uncommon favor. I say it all the time. Favor ain't fair, but it got to go to somebody. Why not me? Why not me? Listen, if you have never experienced God's favor, it is not too late. Just submit, surrender to Him, repent of all your sins. He will cleanse you from them, and watch His blessings flow. Like, things you didn't expect to happen. Like, when I tell you, I give God all the glory for everything that I have, because I know greater is coming. That's a song somewhere. I think Jacqueline Carr. All right, sports, NBA news, and I'm gonna get to the NCAA after this. NBA news: Embiid has made his return, and he's playing good. Yeah, he's on the minute restriction for now. But that boy's he may be the reason that Boston may lose. Nah, Boston is on a different level right now. Them getting Porzingis and Drew Holiday has helped them tremendously. LeBron scored 40 on 9 of 10 shooting from the arc against Brooklyn, and people are still hating. Like, what is it? What is it that LeBron is doing so bad that people are hating? Like, I can't understand that. Like, what is he doing that's so hateful that makes you want to hate him? Oh, because of Jordan, what Jordan would have done. Jordan could have played another year in the league and went up against him, and we could have saw what would have happened. But he retired. He left for good that time. Like, Jordan had an opportunity to play one more year. He had an opportunity. He chose not to. And then what kills me is one of my brothers, he was like, I say, man, everywhere LeBron went, LeBron brought a ring to that team. Jordan can't say that. Because when he went to the Wizards, he didn't bring a ring to Wizards. Oh, he was just there to, he was making, no, he didn't bring a championship there. Like, if we're going to hold LeBron to the same standard that Jordan had, or, like, let's hold him to that standard. Don't sit up and sugarcoat it to like, well, Jordan did this and Jordan did this. I'm like, he went 6-0 in the finals. That's great. Yeah. 10-time scoring champ. Cool. Who cares, right? Because he's not the all-time leading scorer. And now LeBron is just stat padding. How? He's competing for a championship. Like, he's competing for a championship. We're in the final week. What's going to happen? In the West, well, the Warriors and the Lakers play tonight. Of course, I'm picking the Lakers to win. Trying to see. I don't know who else. Like, the West is up for grabs. Honestly, there's Denver and then there's everybody else. And what's crazy is that the teams that are at the bottom are trying to avoid Denver. If you're one of the top 4 teams, if you're one of the top 4 teams, you can avoid Denver to the Western Conference Finals. Like, because I think Denver is in the 3 seed right now. So them playing Phoenix might be a good matchup. Might be a really good matchup. Them playing the Clippers will be a really good matchup. Just got to wait and see. But yeah, a lot of teams are avoiding Denver. And for so because they're a fine oil machine. A well-oiled machine. That's the word. All right. As I stated in the beginning, basketball, NCAA, South Carolina wins it all. They go undefeated. And I'm really happy for that team. And obviously, like I said also earlier, why is there so much more focus on Caitlin Clark than the champs? Make it make sense. Then I'm seeing so much hate toward Angel Reese, so much hate toward like the team LSU there, dirty debutantes. Like, why they gotta be dirty debutantes? Like, make it make sense. 67 other teams tried to win it all and didn't. And LSU's the dirty debutantes. Again, Cameron Brink cursed out the referee and nothing was said or done. Even the media was like, and that's how Cameron Brink is going to end her career at Stanford. By cussing out the referee. Nothing's been said about it. Nothing's been done about it. Nothing's happening. And it's an afterthought. Now, let Angel Reese or Don Staley cuss out a referee. Oh, they got to go to jail for that. Because you don't cuss out no referee. Stop it. Stop it. Matter of fact, even so during the post-game press conference, some guy asked Dawn Staley, what does she think about transgenders playing in college basketball? Meaning, like, if a man decides he wants to be a woman, and she was very careful with her words, and I applaud her for that. To say, and I'm just like, why would you ask her that question? She even said, "You're gonna ask me this after we just won it all, and that's the question you can come up with." And she was just like, in my opinion, if you're a woman and want to play in any sport, you can play the sport. Or if you're a man in any sport, you can play the sport. Like, why even ask that question? Number one. Number two is, why are you like, what is that? Why is that your focus? Not, oh, you guys had a great game. What happened between the first quarter after Caitlin Clark scored 18? That the three quarters she only scored 12 points total. Like, what happened? What did you say to your team? Type of thing. Or talk about basketball. Don't talk about something off topic. Like, no one cares. Like, no one cares. And like I said, the UConn men won it all as well. Like, focus on them. No one's focused on. Well, they did mention Zach Edey. He scored 37 points, but they lost. It's a team effort. Purdue lost, and we're talking about Zach Edey. Who cares? Just another player who don't have a ring in college. It is what it is. What I seen this past weekend was some of the most hateful things I've ever seen in the sports world. And it's not so much about the players that was on the court. It was these haphazard fans who think they know basketball or understand basketball but really don't. Like, when UConn played Iowa, like, they keep saying don't leave it in the ref's hands. Don't leave it in the ref's hands. Don't leave it in the ref's hands. I get that. But some things is like, if you weren't calling it in the first quarter, don't all of a sudden blow your whistle in the fourth quarter. Or if you was calling it in the first quarter, don't hold your whistle in the fourth quarter. Like, that's always my thing when it comes to whether it's basketball, football, baseball. Well, baseball don't really have that issue. Well, yeah, they do. Balls and strikes. But if you make a call, like, if you think something is, I use basketball, so you think if it's an illegal pick in the first quarter, it needs to be a legal pick in the fourth quarter. Or if you're saying you letting it go, or even if you've had a conversation with the player that's setting the screen, like, hey, next time be still when you're setting that screen, type of thing. Like, say something to the player so they can be aware of what's going on. But to not say anything, and Aaliyah Edwards has been setting the same pick since she's been there. So all of a sudden it's a call now? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like, they really wanted Iowa to win it so bad. Too bad you didn't. I just think, like, people really show their true colors when it comes to sports. Like, again, like I said, I have nothing against Caitlin Clark. She was a great player her time in college. However, you don't have a championship to show for it. And if Paige Bueckers comes back another year, like, she got to make it happen, because all the UConn greats have a ring, at least one ring. They have at least one. Breanna Stewart got 4. That girl was cold, though. That girl was cold. She still is now. Bronny James has entered the transfer portal and has declared for the NBA draft. I don't know how I feel about it. I know that by him entering the transfer portal, he can declare for the draft but still keep his college eligibility. Now, I'm pretty sure he has a few NIL deals, right? because of who his dad is. It don't matter. Like, so they're not hurting for money, so to speak. Right? So I'm not that upset, you know, that if he gets drafted by a team, great. But he's not hurting for money. Like, his dad is worth $1 billion right now. So not even concerned about that. How he's gonna do? I mean, so from watching a few of the games in not South Carolina, at USC, like the ball kept going to either Isaiah Collier or Boogie Ellis. Like they were taking turns shooting the ball. Like that's what I saw. There was no real playing from that team, because they should have been better off with the players that they had. They had DJ Rodman. Like they had players that could have made some noise. And it amazes me that we don't let children be children in whatever sport that it is, right? Let them be children. Let them enjoy their childhood. I know it's hard for Bronny because of who his dad is, but like people making fun of him because he's crying on the bench for, like, I think they got blew out by Arizona or somebody like that. I don't know. But I'm like, what's there to make fun of him because he's crying on the bench? He's 18, maybe 19 now. But I'm like, he's a kid. Shocking news. Coach Cal, John Calipari, has left Kentucky to go coach at Arkansas. That surprised me. That surprised me. I did not see that coming. But when you're part of a program that's used to winning and you're not delivering, the 15, 16 years you've been there, you only got one ring to show for it, and you've had some good players. You've had some really good players. From the DeMarcus Cousins of the world to John Wall and all of them. Like, yeah. And he only going to the next state over, to Arizona. So he ain't got to go far. Baseball news. Yankees swept the Astros. No surprise in there. Astros are not gonna be the same team they were without Dusty Baker. Ronel Blanco pitches a no-hitter though. Looking at Juan Soto and the Yankees, he is making a difference. He is making a difference for that team already. Teams that are winning right now, I'm not, like, in the beginning of the season, I'm not concerned. Like, because my question is always, can they sustain it? Like the Pirates are 7-2 or 8-2 or something like that. I'm like, that's not gonna last. Somebody else is doing real good right now, but I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna last. Every team don't know that they suck until they look up and they're like 15-30. So, and some teams can't recover from that. I believe the Rangers are gonna be here for at least a few more years. Just gotta wait and see. One, like I said, it's gonna be a few. Like, I don't know who's coming out the AL Central. It may be the Twins, and I'm just naming, or it could be the Guardians. I don't know. But I guess we just gotta wait and see. Let's see. Who else? The Rangers are going to win the West. The Yankees are probably going to win the East. I don't know. The Orioles might make a wild card. I'm trying to think of teams. The Blue Jays might. The Astros might still get in the wild card. I'm not going to just brush them off like that. They'll figure it out. Most teams figure it out. But yeah, moving on. Let's talk about WrestleMania 40. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. huge wrestling fan, and I did not like when they had Undertaker lose to Brock Lesnar. But, you know, things are changing. Things are starting to get better with the industry. And now Triple H is like, he's running the show now. So I'm happy about that. But let's talk about Cody Rhodes dethrones the Tribal Chief. And you kind of knew it was going to happen once he won the Royal Rumble again. Like, they're not going to let him lose twice. But shoot, Roman Reigns to go on vacation, you know, relax, because he's had to be it for almost 3 years, 3+ years. That's crazy. Like, go on like a 3-month vacation to relax, and then get back at it. He's still young. He's like 36, 37. I'm saying that like I'm much older than him. I'm only 40. But man, both nights, and I'll get to that last year, Triple H era has begun. He's the reason why these matches, these storylines have gotten so much better. Like, gotten so much better that I try to tune in when I can. It's hard to on Friday nights because on Friday nights is family night, but I can always go back and watch it on Hulu. Black Girl Magic. Let me tell you about the Black Girl Magic that happened, I think it was night 1. Yeah, night 1, Saturday night. It was, who was it? It was Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill. She came from AEW wrestling, and this girl is phenomenal. If you don't know who she is, she looks like a taller, stronger version of Tiana Taylor. Byron, her. Like, and like, the girl is phenomenal. But yeah, they won. I forgot who they fought, but they won. But it was just to see unity, because we don't see that. Like, Triple H, you get 5 out of 5 stars from me to put them together. And I saw the comments from both guys I played football with about seeing them all together, that they can have all of that. I got my black girl, my black queen. Drew McIntyre beat Seth Rollins, but then lost to Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre, I think he needs a little bit of a run as champion. The first time he won it was during COVID, and people watched on the screen. It wasn't in front of people. But this time when he won it, no lie, I kept thinking like, man, Damian Priest is going to come out and cash in. I just kept thinking like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And no, and and sure enough, he came out. Damian Priest came out, cashed in, all because Drew McIntyre went after CM Punk, who was calling it, and Damian Priest cashed in, took it from him. Damian Priest is the new champ right now. Logan Paul is box office now when it comes to like wrestling. Like, watching him, like every match that I've seen him in, whether it's WrestleMania, whatever whatever big spectacle event that they have where he's wrestling, like, he does something that just wows you. So I wasn't even mad at it. But yeah, Logan Paul is box office. You gotta watch him wrestle. Like, he's pretty good. He's putting in the training, putting in the work to bring it fun. Awesome Truth is back in effect. So there was a tag team match night 1, where both tag team belts were on the line, and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory won, I think, the SmackDown belts, and The Miz and R-Truth won the Raw belts, or vice versa. They won the tag team belts or whatever. So it was a sight to see R-Truth win a belt. Like I don't like outside of the 24/7 belt. Like I don't know, did they win the tag team belts a while back? Well, not at WrestleMania, but like R-Truth is a true gem to the WWE. Like not even gonna lie. I thoroughly enjoyed both nights. But let me tell you what happened at the end of night 2. So in my mind, like I'm a person who pays attention, and I kept thinking, I say, man, it'll be cool if Dean Ambrose come back. And I'm sitting there watching, and I hear the Shield music, dun 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 dun. I'm like, oh, where's Dean? Where's Dean? I'm like, I'm excited, and then all of a sudden, Dean doesn't come out. It's Seth Rollins, and I'm like, but Roman got some get back when he hit him with that chair from behind. I was like, oh, that must have felt good. There's been some years in the making. Then The Rock comes out. No. But before The Rock comes out, John Cena comes out to stop Solo Sikoa from, trying to help because it was a bloodline match. So I'm just like, oh man, John Cena back, cool. Then The Rock comes out. The Rock started doing what he does or whatever. Then I hear the dong. Undertaker comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I'm getting goosebumps. I'm so excited because I'm a wrestling fan. I even saw Kev on stage posted. He said when he heard that bill of the Undertaker, he said him and his wife turned into an 8-year-old kid. I'm like, oh my goodness. Undertaker come out, take care of The Rock. Then Cody Rhodes does his signature move, 1, 2, 3, and Samantha Irvin, like she gets all the kudos. She's the ring announcer. I believe she's engaged, if not married, to Ricochet, or they're soon to get married if they're not married yet. But her emotion on the microphone tells you a story, in my opinion. Like she's watched these wrestlers and things like that, and it's just like, man, it's phenomenal. Like I thoroughly enjoy wrestling. Like I got to make sure I watch not all of them, but try to watch them as much as I can because it's amazing. Like I said again, the storylines are being told differently, so it's definitely a treat to watch. But yeah, man, I'm still in shock that The Undertaker came back out, and yeah, he did the choke slam and left. Like he don't need to be wrestling, but if he doing a couple of moves like choke slam or the last ride or the tombstone, like if he doing just that and then leaving, I'm okay with that. Final thoughts. All right, so some things just need to be overlooked. There are people who say things on the internet, onto interwebs, the social media, just to say things for clout because they're internet thugs, but not real thugs. Some people just got to overlook. Like, I see these comments how they want to praise Caitlin Clark like she's white Jesus. It is what it is. Sometimes you want to make a comment, but it's just like, nah, I'm not gonna make that comment. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna mind my business. But it's one of them things where it's like, if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to watch it, just turn it off. Like Mike Todd. Like, if you want to just turn it off, turn it off. Like, I stopped following him, unfollowing him, or whatever. And so I just turned it off. Like, it is what it is. Just don't follow the person. Don't pay attention. Don't entertain them with what they say. And also, too, this leads into part 2 of if you're criticizing someone to make yourself feel better about you, then you are doing your job. Because what I believe critics are people who who can't do what you do. And so they try to criticize what you do. Like, a lot of the people probably can't make a jump shot, probably can't shoot a three-pointer. But yeah, you want to criticize someone for being passionate about playing basketball or for looking pretty because they play basketball. Like, thank you for doing your job. Because you can't do it. Or because you can't throw a football, or because you can't catch a football. So you want to criticize others, or because you're not coordinated, that part. Because you're not coordinated to do what they do. Keep doing your job. You are appreciated. So of course, as I say, every week I come on here, none of the music that I play, I don't own the rights to it. So what you heard is Who Gonna Stop Us? Who Gonna Stop Us? By Derek Minor. Check him out. Yeah, that's all I got. Again, as I always say, love God, love people. You can't say you love God and hate his people. Till next time, peace.